What's up, YouTubers? Matador here with a talents video for level 60 Shaman. In this video, we are going to take a look at the Enhancement Shaman. Enhancement Shamans were a very niche class and spec combo where usually only one Enhancement Shaman would ever make the raid group. So if you're going to be your raid's Enhancement Shaman, these are the specs that you should follow. The main reason for going Enhancement in a 40-man raid is for improved totems, specifically improved Wind Fury totem, and also for a Nightfall Axe proc. So if you are going Enhancement Shaman, you need to be using the two-handed axe Nightfall, which can be crafted by blacksmiths. The reason for this is there's a chance on hit to increase magic damage taken by the target by 15% for 5 or 6 seconds, which is huge because it means that all of your warlocks and all of your mages in the raid group are doing 15% more damage periodically to the boss, and it melts the health of the boss. So there are really two different ways to spec Enhancement. One is to pair it with a small amount of elemental talents, and one is to pair it with a small amount of restoration talents. We're going to talk about both options here. Both of them, no matter what, will go straight down the enhancement tree. So let's start with the middle tree. First, you're going to put 5 points in maximum mana, because mana is very crucial in vanilla and classic World of Warcraft. Everyone seems to be mana starved. It's a sort of mini game you play with every single class and spec combo, is to make sure that you have enough mana to use your abilities and sustain them over time. The second thing you're going to do is go into Thundering Strikes with 5 points, which increases your crit strike chance with weapons by 5%. Anytime there's a free crit or hit chance talent on any class and spec combo, it's likely a good choice. The next talent point that's required is two-handed axes and maces, because that's going to be your go-to weapons. You're also going to put 2 points in increased Strength of Earth and Grace of Air totems. Now you've reached a point where we are no longer required to put points in specific items. You can put them wherever you want in order to get down to Flurry. My recommendation in this case, just for convenience, is to put it in improved Ghost Wolf. Obviously you're not going to be able to use Ghost Wolf in a raid, but having a lowered cast time by 2 seconds allows you to get into Ghost form quicker out in the world so that you can travel faster. Now, if you've reached a point where you have an epic mount, that's likely going to be your go-to option, but epic mounts in vanilla WoW were really hard to come by. A lot of people didn't even get them in vanilla because they were so expensive. So Ghost Wolf is probably going to be used at least up until level 40, maybe even beyond, and it's useful in PvP. Like I said, you're going to put the 5 points in Flurry, which increases your attack speed by 30% whenever you get a crit strike, and the more times you're attacking, the more chances you have to proc Nightfall, the axe. You're going to put 3 points in elemental weapons, which increases the attack power of your Rockbiter, increases your Wind Fury weapon, and increases your Flame Tongue and Frostbane. You're also going to put 2 points in improved weapon talents, so that you can drop that Wind Fury totem with the extra 30% for your melee group. You'll put 5 points in a Weapon Mastery, which increases damage with all weapons by 10%, and you'll put 1 point in Storm Strike, which gives you an extra attack. Now, it's up to your raid leader whether or not he's actually going to allow you to use Storm Strike, because it counts as a debuff on the boss. And there's not a lot of nature damage going out by the hard-hitting DPS classes, so likely this will be excluded from your rotation, and it's a significant amount of mana. But it is a 20-second cooldown, so maybe you'll use it, maybe you'll just use it when you're soloing or PvP. But regardless, it's worth taking. Since no matter which way we spec into Elemental or Restoration, we're also going to have an extra point left over, I'm going to recommend that you put this extra point into Parry, which will help you when you're soloing or out in the world. Now, let's look at pairing with the Restoration tree because that's the most likely scenario that you'll follow, because you'll need to get down to the point where you get the extra 3% chance to hit with melee and spells. The first 5 points don't really matter. You can put them in whichever one you choose. In this case, I'm just going to stick with saving mana in case I need to heal myself, or in case I need to off heal because enhancement maybe isn't viable that night, or maybe another enhancement shaman showed up and I'm supposed to go resto. This will help you save with your mana cost. You're also going to put 5 points in reducing the mana cost of your totems. This is because your primary role in the raid, again, is to drop totems. Most of everything else that you do is auto attacking. You're also going to put 1 point in totemic mastery in case your group members get separated from you or you're on opposite sides of the boss. Your Wind Fury totem will still reach them. And again, like I said, you want to go 3 points into the hit. And this is the basics of the talent spec, but you're left over with 5 points with which you can do whatever you want. I'm going to make the suggestion that you put 2 points into improved reincarnation, which gives you 20 minutes off your reincarnation, which makes it 40 minutes, I believe. And then the other 3 points I would put in improved lightning shield, which will help with your soloing as well. Now we're going to reverse tracks a little bit and take out the 3 lightning shield talents and remove restoration, and consider what it would be like to go elemental with the rest of these talent points. The only reason you would go elemental is if you are in a position where you have enough hit on your gear, which is probably unlikely, and you have a sustainable enough mana pool to be shocking fairly often, which again is probably unlikely in Classic WoW. But regardless, let's explore it. You're going to put all your points into shock, so that's 5 points in concussion, which increases shock damage by 5%, 5 points in convection, which reduces the mana cost by 10%, 5 points in reverberation, which reduces the cooldown of shock by 1 second, and you will put 1 point over an elemental focus, which allows clear casting, so you'll get a free or mana cost free spell. Then you'll put the last 3 points in elemental devastation, which allows your offensive spell crits to increase the chance to get a crit strike with melee attacks by 9% for 10 seconds, which is convenient. Those are the 2 specs that are most viable for enhancement. Again, you're only going to be able to do this if you are the only enhancement shaman in the raid, and primarily if you have the Nightfall Axe. Even if you get a better weapon drop in the raid, like better damage wise, the priority is still going to be to utilize the Nightfall Axe the entire time that you're at level 60 on the majority of bosses, because that's a primary reason that you're brought to the raid to begin with, to increase the damage of the magic users. However, you are likely going to be the person that will be handed the items to create the Hand of Ragnaros while you're raiding MC, which is a legendary 2-handed mace, because that goes to the Ret Pally or it goes to the Enhancement Shaman first. You're not really going to use that in DPS unless there's, except maybe on a couple bosses, but you will use it to own face in PvP, and it's fun to use out in the world. Feel free to check out Wowhead for some class guides, some best in slot items, and alternative specs. If you like this video, please leave a like or a subscribe or a comment down below so I know that you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thanks, and enjoy Classic WoW.